Hi, I'm Marlene from US Classic Muscle Cars, and today we are here at Steve Foley from Rolls Royce. And right next to me, I have Ed Triwish. Hello, how are you doing today?
Fine, how are you, Marlene?
Good, thank you for asking. Now, can you tell us a little bit about what we have right next to us?
I sure can. This is the new 2018 Rolls Royce Phantom. I guess you could say it's the Rolls Royce of Rolls Royces. It's their flagship car. The Phantom has a long history with Rolls Royce, and they are proud to come out with a completely new redesign, completely new engine work, and actually completely new everything for 2018.
Oh, wow. Can you tell us a little bit about the interior of the car?
Sure. Rolls-Royce has always prided itself on having the best of the best, and the first thing you notice is the coach doors, which are common with Rolls-Royce. We don't like the term suicide doors, so we call it coach doors, and people wonder about the history of them. Well, coach doors, this type of style has been with a few different cars before, but the story is that it kind of came around when Queen Elizabeth, the current monarch became queen, and she was, a little more dowdy. To this day, she still enjoys being at the farm, so she was able to get out of the car, and before the doors opened, she was able kind of to straighten herself up and get out. So that's the story behind that. The interior, real wood, real leather, Northern European hides, which are the toughest, and designed distinctively. In fact, if you were to go to their website, RollsRoyceMuscleCars.com, they have various options for the right side of the dash over there. It's the different types of artwork you can commission. This is all new design. This hasn't been seen before in Rolls-Royce. The technology is fully up to date with regards to things like Bluetooth and playing your music through Apple CarPlay and things like that also. The stitching is all hand done. The car is a hand-built car. You may see kind of a platform type of handling at the factory as they move it from point to point, but it is considered a hand-built car totally. All the common luxury features are there, of course: heated seats, ventilated seats, navigation, things like that also. Satellite radio is available. In fact, you get satellite radio for a period of time when you purchase the car. And all the controls are through the screen there, which we'll get closer to see in a minute, with regards to all your information, including things like the entire owner's manual is within the software, so you never have to consistently look through the book. You can simply earmark certain things in the owner's manual in the software, and you'll be able to find it if needed.
Okay.
A couple other things. If we can get closer here, I'm going to want you to sit in the car for a second, if you're okay. And if you don't mind, I'm going to go around to the other side and get in. Look what we have here. This is called Starlight headlight. They're not offering a sunroof this year in the car because they want to make it the quietest car possible, but just about everyone's going to come with the Starlight headlighting because, the stars come out, as they say, for the stars, and if you own this car, you're going to be a star for sure. Here you see a little bit closer as far as the information system here. It works off the basic knob control. So your media would be here, where you get your radio stations. The menu here will show all your other functions, such as communication for your telephone, navigation, different types of computer applications, information on the vehicle, notifications where once your phone is programmed you can get text messages and things like that. Media radio is for things like your Bluetooth music and things like that, as well as additional communication. We still have our old technology. The SOS service up here, you see this little button up here, is Rolls-Royce Assist. God forbid if airbags deploy, it sends an immediate response to a center so they can get aid to you. It can also provide turn-by-turn directions, lockout protection if needed, and things like that. Rolls-Royce still carries a 4-year warranty, unlimited mileage, and 4 years of scheduled maintenance. All your other controls down here, these are not your simple radio stations. These would be called bookmarks. So you can bookmark a phone number if needed, to work or home, a point in the owner's manual like I talked about earlier, a radio station or a telephone number. And then of course we have our heated seats and things like that also. You can see here, this has the metal background with a distinctive clock, and this is where that artwork would come in if you wanted to personalize it. It's always been said that Rolls-Royce, you're only limited by your imagination with regard to colors and certain options, okay, that you can do many, many different things. I've seen people put anniversary dates in there, birth date of their wife, birth date of a child, things like that. So I wanted just to show you all that. Of course, the stars, too, is what we call a real wow point, as they say.
Definitely.
As far as the back seat goes, you see, of course, it is a big car, plenty of legroom. That armrest will fold up, but I wanted to have it down there to show you that the seats can be individually controlled as far as power goes, okay? And we do have buttons within the door here. You can see the curtains are here for privacy in this model, but we do have buttons also that'll help close the door so you don't have to reach. And of course, if you step back here for a second, what could be more distinctive of Rolls-Royce than this? The umbrella.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. It used to be in the front door, but it's still designed that if you do have a driver, and some people do, though I must say at the beginning, this is really a car to be driven and not to have somebody drive it. But if you do happen to have a driver or security person, they can reach for the umbrella before the person has to get out of the car. And it's kind of nice. Supposedly that was the idea of a Princess Margaret many years ago. I don't know about that, but that's what they say. A couple other features with regard to the back. This one has, I can reach it here. It's now power. We have the table, and there's a screen. You can call it a TV screen. With digital now, it doesn't get TV stations. When I began selling cars many years ago, you can get some of the local stations, but now it's there for hooking up your laptop to see a screen. If you've got your kids or grandkids in the car, they can play their games, and movies also, okay, on those long trips. So that's kind of nice also. If you look on the outside here, I'm not that good of a parker, but you know how the RR on each wheel is standing straight up. That's because it's set in the ball bearings, and it is always going to be straight up. It's kind of like, how can I say it? It's something that Rolls-Royce prides itself in. Kind of like those schools that have an emblem on the floor and you're not supposed to walk on it. That's what this is kind of like also. Okay.
Tell me a little bit more about the rims and the wheels.
The 21-inch alloy, you have several different choices. Some, depending on the color of the car, have like a black inlay. And there's others with maybe a more plain, not as many spokes wheel. You do get several choices with it though, which is nice. As far as the back seat goes, you see, of course it is a big car, plenty of legroom. That armrest will fold up, but I wanted to have it down there to show you that the seats can be individually controlled as far as power goes, okay? And we do have buttons within the door here. You can see the curtains are here for privacy in this model, but we do have buttons also that'll help close the door so you don't have to reach. Reach for the key here because I want to show you more luxury. And women love this. Okay. These are the floor mats that come with it.
Oh, wow. Nice and soft.
Okay. So a real luxury feature that's a real turn on. It does have a big trunk. So if you do want to do some traveling, you know, golf clubs could perhaps fit in here, okay? And batteries are there also for extra weight and things like that also. So, we call this the boot close. In England, in the UK, the trunk is considered the boot, the roof is considered the hood, and the hood is considered the bonnet. Oh. Okay. So if you ever look up or go online, and hopefully you will go to RollsRoyceMuscleCars.com, and you'll see things like boot color or bonnet color. You know, this is a two-tone. You can get a singular color also. You know, you'll know what they're talking about.
How many options does this car have with the colors?
Well, they have about, I want to say, 16 standard colors. But like I said, they have what's called Bespoke, which is the term used for personal commissioning, where you could send them a color and they will tell you how close they can to duplicate it, or if they can duplicate it, and how long it'll take to build. And there have been stories, not my customers, But there have been stories of ones who have had a personal commission car and paid extra that it could not be duplicated. In other words, they paid Rolls-Royce not to duplicate it anymore. You know, it's such an individual car, and I'm not going to deny the price point is much more than many other cars, but some people just like to make it their individual thing, and that's what it is. The two-tone look has become somewhat popular. There are people who still like a straight black or a straight white or whatever. They did something interesting with the stripe here this year and not continue it all the way down. I like to joke and say they ran out of paint, but they didn't. Okay. This always kind of related to perhaps like a yacht, and this wafting is what they call for the smooth ride and things like that. So that's what it's kind of distinctive to it, like it's cutting through the wind and it peels out. So it gives it a nice little touch and a more distinctive touch also.
So let's talk about the engine. What kind of engine does this car have?
Okay, let me open the hood and we can talk about it. Or I'm sorry, the bonnet. A 12-cylinder engine. All Rolls-Royces are 12-cylinder engines. They're all rear-wheel drive. The difference this year is for the first time in the Phantom, we've incorporated a turbo for a little more power and actually for a little more fuel efficiency. Turbos have always been kind of tough and more powerful luxury cars because of the basic idea of a turbo is that when you accelerate, sometimes you would get what they call a turbo lag or a turbo squat. So it likes a pause before it takes off. Maybe very cool when we're 19 years old, but not so much in these type of cars. But they have incorporated a turbo here for more power. So we have 563 horsepower, okay, and it's an 8-speed automatic transmission, which really helps. You don't get that pause and linkage between gears if you do want to accelerate fast. Synthetic oil is used before. It does require premium unleaded gasoline, but it's got a large tank. I think on a full tank for highway driving, you're going to have a capacity of about 460 miles, okay? They've also simplified a lot of things. They've incorporated emissions controls that are required, and it does seem a little bit smaller, but it's not, so very good. We still have the fire blanket here in case of trouble, and it's a very well-performing engine. Okay, they've taken the best of what they had in the past and improved it quite a bit.
So how much torque does this car have?
It's 664 pounds of torque at 1,700 RPM, which is very, very low. So you're going to get a lot of good power without having to fully depress the accelerator. And the car is in excess of 5,000 pounds. I mean, there's some steel, a lot of aluminum, still composite and things like that too. But if you notice, or when we looked at the whole car, it's the length is almost equal to twice as much as it is high. It's like an almost perfect balance. So while it is kind of a squared off style and not a sports car, fastback style, whatever, it's going to not have that drag you get with wind and things like that also.
So this has an impressive grille. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Well, the Rolls Royce has always been recognized as, the grille part has always been distinctively Rolls Royce. You sometimes see barbecue grills like that or kids' toys with it or whatever. They've maintained what's called the waterfall design and have it lengthwise to make it really distinctive from the other Rolls Royces, okay? We do incorporate, you know, the front camera, the front headlamp washers, and the front buttons, you could say, as you get close, it beeps or whatever. Still got not a bad ground clearance to get over those parking stumps when needed, okay? And of course, we still have the Spirit of Ecstasy, the flying lady. That's really distinctive to Rolls-Royce. It is full power. It can be alarm tangent. So what I want you to do is stand here for a second and let me activate it, okay?
Okay.
Hold on.
Nice.
What that does is it allows you to program the car so when you park it, it can go down. Now, it is tied to the alarm, so if somebody tried to grab it, the alarm would go off. I don't want to do that inside here because the alarm is very loud. But at least you can program it to go down. and or leave it up all the time, depending on what you want. The headlamps are all new, and they are laser. You can see, you can't really see in there, but there's a little yellow sticker that's required of any type of laser lighting, so we're going to really be able to see down the road, and it adjusts. You know, you have headlight adjustment for going around and bright lights and things like that also.
Now, can you tell me about the suspension of the car?
Well, Rolls-Royce always prided themselves as having really the perfect ride. They took a lot of steps on the interior to make it very quiet, but this air suspension and that wafting type of thing I talked about earlier, it's almost like a yacht, not just a boat, but a yacht cutting through the water, fully independent, so it takes whatever bumps and holes there are on the road, and in a matter of milliseconds transfers it away so you don't get that aggravation on one side or the other. With the back wheels being able to be turned, you know, with the car, that's going to aid with the suspension also. And it's truly the perfect ride. It's some people almost feel it's too quiet. I don't know of another car that I've driven where you really don't realize how fast you're going, 60, 70, 80 miles an hour, you know what I mean? Because of the sound deadening that's involved, but also the suspension and the handling and all that too. Okay, that's why we encourage when one sees a car this size, and of course when one sees a car with this price, they think, well, you need a driver or a security person, whatever. You really don't. We like our customers with Rolls-Royce to drive the cars, you know, encourage them to drive them. You know, it's obviously different than whatever else may be on the road with them, but it makes for a much better buying and ownership experience. Okay.
So about how much is this car worth?
Well, the base price for 2018 is $480,000, and they have an initial option package which incorporates a lot of the popular features, which will get it in the mid-500s, things like that. For those of you for those customers who want to get distinctive with that certain type of artwork I'm talking about in the middle, on the dash, or a different type of paint scheme, or an upgraded wood beyond that, you could be approaching maybe, you know, close to $600,000. Okay. But, you know, you can rest assured that it's going to not be a mass-produced vehicle. Okay, so, you know, when you say you'll be the only one on your block, of course it depends on the block, but you really could be like that. Mm-hmm.
What kind of customers did you get that tend to look for this car?
Well, people who tend to buy this car, obviously they're well off financial-wise, and they're kind of independent, and I don't mean necessarily independently wealthy. They tend to be more of ones who, first of all, really like cars, really like autos, and maybe have always had a love affair with them, but they're people who have had maybe they're not head of a publicly held company where they don't have to answer, you know, something like that. So the independent people, there are some doctors, attorneys, others who may have started their own business, you know what I mean. The athletes, of course, the professional athletes come and look at it also. But I've seen it across the gamut. I've seen women who have been successful in life and enjoy cars and have many different cars and have bought it too. It isn't simply a man's car, a woman's car, or whatever. They're very good about Rolls-Royce reaching out to all types, you know, but that's the ones who tend to come in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell our viewers how they can reach you?
Well, my name is Ed Trywish. I'm at Steve Foley Rolls-Royce, Northbrook, Illinois, which is just outside of Chicago, Illinois' oldest and best Rolls-Royce dealer. 847-849-2233 is my direct line. I'd be glad to give you a personal demonstration. Obviously, when any new car comes out, any redesign come out, they're very limited the first year, but we will hopefully always have one here to show and hopefully drive as the year goes on. And ordering right now is, it's not an extended wait. You know, I heard in some countries in Europe and the Middle East even where they don't have as many dealers, the wait could be 2.5 years. Here you're looking at probably a 4 or 5 month period. You can get your car you want, depending, of course, you know, if you're going to go to one of those offbeat colors, it may be a little bit longer or something like that. But we'll take care of you. Okay.
So if a customer has a different interest in a different style of a Rolls Royce, can they still come over here and look?
Absolutely. You know, we have the Ghost, which is a 4-door model like this, but maybe not I mean, it's still a great car, don't get me wrong, and it's a more popular one, probably because of the price point, a little bit smaller. And Rolls-Royce also makes the Dawn, which is their convertible now, and the Wraith, which is more of their sportier two-door hardtop. That has a horsepower in excess of 600, but they're all Rolls-Royce. They're not just a Rolls-Royce brand. They're all built at the same factory. They all carry the same warranty. They all carry the same maintenance, and we're a full service dealer. We have loaner cars too, and we're more than happy to take care of you. I've sold cars to I don't know how many different states, over 30 I would say, and at least 15 different countries. So be more than willing to take care of you, and even if you're not in the area, make sure your local dealer, wherever you are, will take care of you. We all work together on that.
All right. So if they can't make it to the dealership right away, is there a different avenue?
Well, sure. They could always go to online to stevefoley.com or eTrywish@stevefoley.com, or the Rolls-Royce website, rollsroycemotorcars.com, to look at different things, or the Chicago Auto Show, which I believe is starting around February 10th. We will have, I believe, all the Rolls-Royce models there, and I'll be there most days, and I'll be glad to, I'll be glad to come up and say hello and say you saw the video or the program, and I'll be glad to let you in and show you the cars up close.
All right.
Okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.